Let's talk about visibility, because if I had a dollar for every time I heard, I know I need to show up more, but I'm exhausted, I'm busy, whatever the excuse is, then I would have a very different business model. And it's not a joke, because I honestly do get it. Because visibility has been sold to us and for many of you as be everywhere, post every single day, show up constantly. And if you're not doing that, you're falling behind and you're failing your business. But what actually happens when we're doing this is we're burnt out. So we stop showing up altogether and your visibility drops even more. So today I want to share with you a different way of being visible. Okay, a way that you can step into visibility that is sustainable, that will build momentum, and that actually works for you long term, because visibility shouldn't feel like pressure to us. It should feel like part of how you run your business and something that's actually enjoyable.
Welcome to the Talk Podcast with ideas strategist Linda Reed-Enever. Talk is where we chat about ideas and inspiration you can use to market your business. Get ready for practical tips you can implement today with your host, Linda Reed-Enever.
So let's redefine what visibility actually is right now. Visibility is not about doing more. It's about being seen strategically. Okay. And this is where lots of business owners get stuck. They figure they've got to be everywhere or they've got to post more to be visible. So they confuse activity with visibility. Posting every day doesn't automatically mean people are seeing you. Being on 5 platforms doesn't mean that you're being remembered, especially if you've got the wrong content. True visibility is about being seen by the right people in the right places with a message that they understand. If we don't have those 3 things, then we're not going to be visible at all. That's it. So when we simplify it like that, you realize you don't have to be everywhere. You can be, but we want to be intentional about where we are going to be. So instead of asking what else I should be doing now to be visible, start asking, where does my audience already spend time? And am I there? What message do they actually need to hear right now? And am I delivering it? This shift alone will reduce so much of your overwhelm. And we quite often as business owners judge our own chosen platforms instead of choosing the places where our audience hang out. So next we're going to choose those visibility anchors. So we don't have to be everywhere. There are tools like Reed-Enever that allow our content to be shared and repurposed, all of those tools that allow us to be shared everywhere. But if we try and show up everywhere ourselves, we're going to burn out. So instead, what I like to choose is some visibility anchors. These are the places where I know I'm going to consistently show up. So they might be Facebook groups, they might be our email marketing, it could be social platforms, and it could be speaking and collaborations, and then developing things like this, like long form content that can be repurposed that mean that I can show in more places. And the important part is our anchors, where we're going to show up, should match our strengths. If you're a talker, do video and speaking. It feels natural. If you're a writer, write emails or blogs or ebooks. It will feel easier for you. Don't feel like you have to do something just because the gurus say so. Because when it feels natural, you'll actually get more consistent at it. And consistency in the end is what will build momentum, which will turn into visibility. So you might choose to do email once a week, Instagram post 3 times a week, and a Facebook group that you're going to be daily engaging with. You don't have to post, you're just going to engage and run comments. That is visibility in action. You don't need to have TikTok and LinkedIn and YouTube and everything else on top if that is not part of your strategy and it's not where your audience hangs out, because more platforms don't equal more impact. Better focus does. But if you do want to reach those audiences through TikTok and LinkedIn, you can use tools like Repurpose, or you can use Reed-Enever to make sure posts are going out there and just check in on them once a week. I see so many business owners build a content hamster wheel rather than a content flow. And content creation is something that can cause the most burnout, because most people are stuck on the hamster wheel of what do I post today, every single day, and that is exhausting. So we have to change that model. Instead of creating constantly, we create strategically. Okay, we start with one piece of core content. Okay, and that one piece of core content could be our 5 or 10 minute video, a podcast, or a blog. Then we're going to break it down. From that one piece of content, we're going to create 3 to 5 short clips. We might make 1 or 2 emails. We might take some multiple social posts, and we take graphics and quotes out of that piece of content. So instead of creating one thing, we've created one theme piece of content and we've multiplied it into other little sub pieces of content. You need to repeat your message. This is something that most people forget when it comes to marketing. You're allowed to repeat yourself, and in fact, you should, because your audience does not see everything the first time you post it. And they're not always ready for that message the first time you post it. So repetition builds recognition, and recognition builds trust. And this is how you stay visible without having to constantly start from scratch. I know this because I'm a marketing strategist and I've been talking about marketing in the same way for 20 years. And this is how your content tree supports your visibility. It feeds your offering tree and it feeds the lead magnet trees and all those things, because the content is building the visibility for you. And then we need to have boundaries that protect our energy when we are putting content out there. So boundaries are key, because without them, visibility will take over your time, your energy, and your headspace. So you need to decide a few things like, how often do you create content? When will you engage? When will you switch off? So an example of this is you might create content twice a week or twice a month. Social media is checked in once in the morning and once in the afternoon. No just quickly posting something at 9 p.m. And you can use scheduling tools like Meet Edgar and Metrical to be able to do things, because when you're reactive, it feels overwhelming. But when you're planned and you're delivering it into content planners, it feels manageable. And this ties into something that I like to say to our community and to our Ideas Impact and Marketing members all the time. When we slow down, we create and we lead better in business. We don't need to be urgently putting out our content all the time. If we've got structure, it will come out better. And then we need to focus on connection. That structure will give you the clarity and the boundaries you need. And as we've got that structure, we're now going to take the pressure off, because perfection is one of the biggest causes of burnout. And now in the world of AI, we don't want to be perfect. Don't wait for that perfect post, that perfect video, or the perfect wording, because that's delaying your visibility. Connection is going to build it. So instead of asking, is that piece of content you've been working on is perfect, ask if it's helpful, ask if it's clear, and ask if it sounds like me, because people will connect with real experiences, things that help them, clear ideas, and consistent presence, not the polished perfection of the video or the piece you're doing. And I have to say, it's quite often the content that we overthink the least that gets the best results. And I can tell you, because I've still got a blog post today, that top 3 performers that I just quickly shoved up on the website is still one of our top search engine areas. So just make sure that we're not overthinking about it. If visibility has been feeling heavy for you, let's simplify. Just let's give you a couple of steps to help you simplify the process today. Choose 2 to 3 visibility anchors, create 1 core piece of content a week, and then repurpose it into multiple touch points that lead back to that piece of content. And make sure that you're setting clear boundaries around your time about when you're going to create, when you're going to post, and when you're going to engage. The focus is on connection and not perfection. Visibility isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things consistently and showing up when you do. And if you take one thing from today's video, let it be this. You don't need to be everywhere to be visible. You just need to show up with the right intention and in a way that you can actually sustain, so that you make sure that you do it consistently within your business. If you want help mapping out a visibility plan, there are tools out there like the marketing planner, like the marketing tree method, and my Ideas Impact and Marketing Circle to help you along the way. Until next time, I'm Linda Reed-Enever. I'm an Ideas Impact and Marketing Strategist, and I help you create impact by teaching you what I do. If this video has been helpful, please give it a like, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you join our free business community, Business, Business, Business. And if you want help from me, our Ideas Impact and Marketing Circle is the exact place to come and tap into my inner circle and my marketing brain to help you along the way.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Talk with Linda Reed-Enever. Make sure you subscribe via your favourite podcast app so you don't miss the next great episode. You can find more ideas and inspiration at enevergroup.com.au.